first guest and our first coach, first life coach for the show today. He is a life coach, and he's also the author of a book series. A book series that he actually wrote within the last year. So, how many authors can say that? It was like he was just popping them out like babies. I hope it works like that with babies. I don't know. He's the author of the book series of the Books of Heaven on Earth. So I'm super excited to have him here today because I'm sure he can help us to create our heaven on earth. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Mr. Daniel Prok. Dan, let me get you out here. And 3, 2, 1, you're on. We already heard you cheering.
Yeah.
In the back.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Welcome back to the show. Guys, Dan has been with us. He has shared his own story in our last episodes that you actually will be able to see very soon on our YouTube channel. That will go live in just a few more days. And so you can learn more about Dan and his story. What happened within the last year, Dan? You wrote like tons of books.
Yeah, you said that about, the baby coming out. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of took about 9 months. So it's been amazing. And for me, it was one of those stressful situations that ended up being the best thing that's happened in my life. And that's how things happened, from the lockdowns to me going to Sedona for 2 weeks. And I stayed there for 6 months. And that was when I talked to y'all last on the show. I was in Sedona. I didn't know I was getting these messages that became books, but they really happened in a phenomenal way. Some people might say it's kind of miraculous. To me, it's just normal now. But
That's
yeah, so the words of a book dropping in my mind, and then I've learned the process of bringing them out and formatting them, publishing them, and they're so good. They're so good. Well, I say that they're so good because they're more than me. They're way more than my humanness.
Yeah, so we need to fill in everybody a little bit. So your books actually that you're writing, it's not like you're having a plan and you start writing a book. You actually channel whatever is written in those books. That's right.
Exactly.
So it's not really your own thoughts, but how do you know that you're channeling and that it's not just your crazy mind?
If it was my crazy mind, that crazy mind is awesome and loving and joyful and peaceful. Like all the best qualities you could possibly think of are in that version of thoughts and writing and belief systems within the books and all those things. It's just been really beautiful. Yeah. And I say that the books are so good because as the messages come through me, even today, I opened up one of the books this morning and I read some of the affirmations from the book. And I'm like, these are amazing. But this is the sense that I have, is that over the last 10 years, I've been building up my love vibe in my life, going from not loving myself to loving myself to feeling that I'm loving and lovable. So having me loving and also receiving love and like amplifying the love vibe. When I was in Sedona, I was making meditations on love. I realized if I can meditate, or even right now, if everyone just goes, for 3 seconds and you feel peace and you feel a little loving, I was like, I know it's in me all day long. Mm-hmm. How do I get it to be that? So love is my autopilot, because I know that is the autopilot of my true self. Before I got programmed to be angry, mad, sad, all this stuff, I learned that in the world. Mm-hmm. But when we connect to our divinity, what's the truth of what we are love. I was catching up to that theme by doing all these things. I made a video course called Becoming Someone Who Loves. I made another video course called Creating Your Heaven on Earth. The books came in after that. So it's really beautiful. I was in Angel Valley, uh, and the words of the book of love started dropping in my mind. Angel Valley is just outside of Sedona. It's like Sedona would be a really beautiful, high vibration place. And then Angel Valley is like the most peaceful I've ever been. And I didn't have phone access for the few days I was there, didn't have email access. And I had been unplugging, but I realized looking back, it took me unplugging, not
Mhm.
having the habitual things that my mind wants me to do, uh, clearing my mind through being in nature, also forgiving, asking for forgiveness, releasing issues in my mind that are just in my mind. But when I release those things, also learn to not let myself get triggered. That was one of the biggest things, not let my mind get triggered anymore. I had some
Do you think that
exercises for
has to
that.
do with being distracted? Like, because when you go out to Sedona and there's nothing going on, right? You have no distractions and nothing, then you are really able to receive these messages. So
I
how is
felt
this
like,
right
yeah.
now? Because you're not in Sedona right now, right?
Mm-mm.
You're in California, back in California.
Yeah.
Yes, and so does that still work here, or do you just live in a very quiet place where you don't have any distractions and where you keep away everything that could distract you?
I live by the beach, so that helps. And I spend a lot of time on the beach, so out in nature. And probably everyone could do a little exercise where you realize how you think and feel when you're, say, at work or at home, and then go for a walk in the park or go for a hike or walk on the beach, and really just to go and see how your thoughts are different when you're in nature, how you're
Mhm.
more open, how you're not habituating about negative things, and even issues that are out in the world that, you know, say fear-based things that are happening somewhere out there. You don't even think of them because
Mhm.
you're open and at peace. And that's what I frame as when you are that open and you clear yourself, the wisdom, divine wisdom is there for everybody. It's there for everybody.
Mhm.
And it's always turned on. It's like love. Love is always turned on. It's like a river flowing, or it's like a warm shower. Like if you took a
Mhm.
really nice warm shower and you just left it on, that's love.
That sounds
But
amazing.
but
But
when we get but when we get angry, it's like turning the knob off. So
yeah,
love is always on until we turn it off with our thinking. So I've learned a lot this last few years, but ended up writing the book of love, and then about a month later, the book of light, and then that was in Sedona, and then I got back to Wind and Sea, and it worked here too. The book of heaven dropped in, and then the book of life dropped in, and then
the
after I
most
wrote four
recent
books,
the
yeah, it
most
was
recent one,
awesome.
but now there's another book coming out. You just told me. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
so then I realized there were two messages before the books that I received in Sedona. Uh, one was the that's already published is the Declaration of Heaven on Earth, and for me, it's like a lot of times in life we experience something that we really don't want to have happen, like we didn't like it at all, and then we get really clear of the way we want our life to be. So when this lockdowns and all this stuff happened with masks and all these things. I was like, this is not. So what do I want? I want heaven on earth. I want love. I want health. I want wealth. I want wisdom. I want freedom. Like I was coming up with these concepts of like, what is the life that I want?
mhm.
Love, health, wealth, wisdom, freedom. That's a mantra I'm saying in my mind every day. And
So
and then
what
I
was your
spun that
life?
energy up, and then that those concepts are in the book. But the Declaration of Heaven on Earth is another book, and then there will be one more, which is the first
I have
book
a
that I texted
question.
you
I
about
need to stop
yesterday.
you right here. Boo, boo, boo,
Okay.
boo. Okay, I have a question. So, first of all, I mean, you say that you knew what life you wanted to create. What was the motivation in the first place of you studying love so much? Like trying to love yourself, and where did you want to go with all this? Like, what made you start that?
I don't know if there was something that made me start it. It was a realization that I didn't love myself. Somehow along the line, and this is back when I lived in Denver, maybe 10 years ago, learning about loving concepts and realized I didn't love myself. I thought it was, should I love myself? I know I should love others, but is loving myself selfish? I had that belief somewhere in me. So it's like, okay, love other people, but loving yourself, oh, that's selfish. But yeah, those were things I had to unwind from. I picked that up somewhere, and it just started flowing more and more and more. I feel like probably everyone, I think everyone's probably going to be on some similar type of journey. And the people, all you beautiful people hearing this, to amplify love and to have a loving experience and to know that you are love, and that love is so deep and so vast and God loves you so much, like those concepts, it's just going to get more. It's just going to become more. I was just squeezing, I had that nozzle in the shower just
Mm.
trickling cold water. I was taking that like a crappy cold shower and I didn't love myself
So
energetically,
how
but
can you
now I've
tell
learned to
that you
open it
love
up.
yourself? How can you tell that you love yourself? Like, what's the difference to back then?
Oh, life just feels so much better. I remember when I moved to San Diego, practicing self-love, telling myself I love myself, even looking at myself in the mirror saying I love you and feeling like that was weird or uh that it was wrong or that I was making it up. And I had to like almost punch through that. It's like this invisible, like an invisible layer that can be in our mind or over our heart also. Um, that like blocks that flow that should just be going flow, flow,
So
flow,
it's like
flow.
you feel like also good things happen to you in life, like you get great opportunities. Obviously, you were channeling books, which is also a good sign of success. So your channels are kind of open, and you're open to receive good things in life.
Yeah, I would love for people around the world to open up their mind, to release the issues from their mind, to purify their system, eating healthy foods and living a healthy, positive lifestyle. All that adds up to a nice flow state for ourselves within our body, within our emotions, within our mind, within our whole life.
Hmm.
And when our energy is flowing, uh, people see it, people notice. I've had it happen in the last few days. uh, just some people noticing me. This guy at the gym that I said hi, I was like, "Hey, are you doing all right?" Because he looked like he was kind of sulking at the
Hmm.
gym in the weight room, and he looked at me. He's like, "Whoa, you're bright, man!" And you are bright. And I was like, "That's good because I work on sending love and light through myself into the
Hmm.
world." And he's like, "It's almost too much, but it's good." And I said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Just call me Junior You." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "I want to be like you. Just call me Junior You." And
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
"Okay." So
Well,
we talked for a
I
few minutes and I gave him some books. And yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
one of
awesome.
those
Yeah,
synchronistic things.
talking about your books, actually, since Dan is with us on Jen on Air today, we have a little giveaway. We have a giveaway of his books. So we have a link that you can click on. Dan, do you want to tell us like what exactly our viewers get when they click on the link?
Yeah, so I want to give you as much as I possibly can. And it might take you a few minutes to download all of them, but please just do it because the link will go to the Declaration of Heaven on Earth. And then once you get into Amazon, you'll get the Kindle ebook and then also find the book of love, the book of light, the book of heaven, and the book of life. So search for those under the title and my first and last name, Daniel Prok. And they should just be free downloads through Amazon just one day because they only let me do 1 day promotions. But I thought about it and I was like, let me just give you everything. So please
Wow.
just take a few minutes and download all of those. And you don't need the Kindle. You can get it through the Amazon Kindle app. Um, so you can do it on your smartphone. So you'll have
Amazing. So you
all the
get those
books.
books all for free.
Yeah.
That's like a huge gift. So
Yeah.
guys, click on this link right here on the screen and also in our comments. Find the link also in the comments and get those books. This is amazing. Thank you, Dan, for sending out good vibes and being such a bright light.
Yeah.
We actually, since this is our coaching segment, and we have something new coming up that I announced at the beginning, we're having some questions. So we're having some questions from our audience for Mr. Dan Prok. So can I please get our new questions? Thank you. So
Nice. Here we go.
Here we go. Questions for Daniel Prok. James is asking, I work at a job I don't like and I don't feel inspired. What are some things I can do to start living my purpose?
Great question, James. And something that I've gotten in the habit of doing is asking myself a lot of questions about myself. Because, James, you know your purpose. Other people might give you ideas around it, but you're the one who knows. So even write out on a piece of paper or in your notepad on your phone, just say, what is my purpose? Question mark. And just sit there quietly, peacefully, and ask yourself that question. What pops up? Write it down, ask yourself again, and you'll get some sort of theme in there for what your purpose is. When I started asking myself that question years ago, it was, what's my purpose? To raise the frequency of the planet. And then it can evolve. So what's my purpose now? It's that, but it's also creating heaven on earth for the collective. And for me, it's helping people believe better, believe in divine truths, love, health, wealth, wisdom, freedom. So you have a purpose that you know, James. And yeah, just that self-reflection it's a simple way to do it, and you'll get that answer.
Amazing. Thank you, Dan. I hope that answered your question, James.
Hope so, James. If not, hey, James, buddy, if not, find me on social media or something, and you can ask me another question. You can find me on Instagram at I Love Brother Dan.
We have that running down here under the screen. And also, yeah, go download all these books. They will raise your frequency and maybe also create more clarity in your life, so you will be able to find your purpose easier. And I think once we know what a purpose is, it's almost hard to stop us from doing it. Right?
It'll be a process. For me, it could be something immediate. It could give you guidance. Could you give you the right perspective on a different or new or better path to take for yourself? It took me a while, but your purpose might be pretty great. I'm sure it's magnificent, and I'm sure it's an integral part of this world. You are an integral part of this world to make this world a better place. We all somehow fit together in some magnificently orchestrated, positive scheme's not the right word, but like the most magnificent creation. We're all part of it, and all the people who are helping in their own beautiful, unique, wonderful way to uplift. You're a very special part of that, James, and so is everyone else on this in the audience right now. So just know that it can evolve over time, but yeah, you all get 2 thumbs up from me.
Awesome. Cool. So we have another question. Are you ready, Dan?
I am ready.
Okay. Anna was actually asking, what does frequency mean? And can you explain how I raise my frequency?
I'm going to go into a few things. So you can ask yourself, well, there's a unique answer for this one too, which Anna, ask yourself, how do I raise my frequency? Because there's a list of things that are unique for you, because you are a unique part of creation. No one else is like you. Nothing in creation is actually the same. Everything is unique. So you have things that you love, that you like, that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. So you can sculpt your life around those concepts. What do I love to do that keeps you in a loving vibration? What am I passionate about? What brings me joy? Those types of things. You have the answers. And it could, Yeah. I would do those exercises when I first asked myself that question, it's like, what do I love to do? This is about 8 years ago. I was like, I don't love anything because I had some job I couldn't like. Well, I was like, the only thing I liked to do at the time was go out drinking with my buddies and meeting hot girls. That was it. That was it. So that's what I was doing. Now I live a high vibe, beautiful life. So frequency is about energy. It's like you can think of energy being expansive, flowing. Something high frequency like nature would be peaceful, loving. Actually, the concepts of that are talked about in the books that I have mentioned, love, health, wealth, wisdom, and freedom, all those would be high frequency aspects of those topics. Love would be high vibration emotionally. Lack of love, fear would be low vibration, restricted, contracted emotionally. And you
Isn't
could go
there
through
even
that
like,
with,
sorry to interrupt, isn't there
yeah,
even like a scale where you
there,
can measure
yeah, there,
frequency and where you see where love is and where like fear or guilt or things like that are?
yeah. So that's this, there's a, just Google scale of consciousness. There's a doctor, I think is Dr. David Hawkins. I think that's the name, but just look up scale of consciousness. You'll see these graphs that show emotionally
Mm.
how frequency works, how the energy works emotionally, from fear at the bottom all the way up to love, joy, peace, enlightenment, and whoosh. That's emotionally. But then you have in the physical world, wealth is high vibration. Lack of wealth is restricted, constricted, retract. That's, and you could see it in poorer area of a city versus one that has mansions in it. They feel differently. They'll feel differently to you. So health is high vibe. Lack of health is low vibe. Wisdom is high vibe. You're open. Lack of wisdom would be restricted. You maybe have issues in your mind, cluttered mind, those sort of things. And we get those from our environment. And freedom is high vibration, whoosh. Lack of freedom, restricted,
Mhm.
limited. Yeah, so those themes are all high frequency and high vibration. Hopefully that helps answer your question there.
Thank you, Dan. I think that was a good explanation. So you're basically saying that if you focus on the things that are exciting to you and that uplift you, that make you happy, that bring you peace, that all these things are actually contributing to raising your frequency and therefore also attracting more of the good stuff that you want at the same
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
we basically just have to be in this, just surround ourselves all the time with these things that we love and that make us feel good in order to keep that frequency and keep everything away that's
I'd say
not
there's
that.
some and there's something to that, which is do those things because that's expanding, and then be aware of things in the world or in your life that restrict those things. And I'll just list some of these things to make it obvious, and then you can also ask yourself that question. Um, does the news make you feel good or bad? Does it make you fear-based, restricted, or does it make you feel elated? So I'm very aware of what I let into my mind because I'm imagining heaven on earth. I'm believing in something better than what I see and hear. And I'm believing in something magnificent and beautiful. So I'm going to steer myself towards magnificent, beautiful, loving, and I'm going to go do the inner work and have my perceptions and perspectives and all aspects of myself align with that. I'm also not going to let in the pollution, eating bad foods, junk food, sugar, uh, maybe gossip, complaining. There's a lot of things that pollute our consciousness. So it's like we're letting these things in. We're imagining the best day, and then I'm going to watch. This is the example that I had. If anyone's made a vision board, which is very powerful, and you make a vision board and you look at it for 5 minutes a day, and you're like, I'm going to visualize this. I'll close my eyes and imagine traveling and success and love and beautiful. 5-10 minutes a day. And then you turn on the news for 30 minutes a day, let that garbage put in your mind. You're cluttering up your soup. I mean, that soup's not going to taste very good. Imagine the best day and then drop a bunch of poop in it and see how it tastes. But that's figuratively what you're doing. It's exactly, and energetically what you're doing too. So I'm very aware. Just be aware of what pollutes your consciousness, and then go full bore into focusing on a beautiful life, a glorious life, because you are beautiful. You are glorious. Yeah, it's like unlearning the lies that we learn from society and some of these themes of less than and lack and chaos and drama, and say, you know what, I'm living a peaceful, joyful, beautiful life, and I'm going to do that for me, for my family, for my home, and then I'm going to have other people around me and groups that do that. We're doing it at work, and then we just set a new theme, because you can pick the theme for your life. The theme that I've chosen is heaven on earth, because that's the best thought I could think of. And I've been saying this mantra, I am heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is here and now for probably 7 years now. And it's manifesting into these books, into a better reality, into people like Jenna and people like you and that are listening right now, people all over the world who have these beautifully amazing, positive energy and perspectives, and they're helping and they're kind and friendly and smiley. And that's real. That's reality. That's what I'm creating, and that's what we're creating together. And let the old drama, trauma, chaos of last year and the past, consider it to be ancient history. Like it happened on some other planet in some weird solar system. It's like the present moment is too beautiful. Just
Yeah, and I
focus
think
on.
we all get to the point where we say, you know, we work so hard for this. We work so hard for staying clean, for focusing on beautiful things, for doing good stuff in the world, to let anything come in and destroy that. Because it's like you have to start all over again. You're always like, oh my God. So now I have to get this stuff out of my system. I have to, like cleanse myself, detox again. So there comes a point where we just say no also to the things that are really just not good for us. And it doesn't mean you're ignorant or anything. It just means that you understand that you're only good for the world if you're okay. If you have a high frequency, you can change something. If you also feel really bad, um, you can't do anything and you lose your light. And so it's beautiful to see that you're able to contain your brightness so much wherever you go. And thanks so much for coming in today, Dan. Thanks for answering our questions. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's been beautiful being on here. Do we have like one more minute? Because I wanted to read 2 pages of the declaration. Just
Okay, yeah, please.
So this is the Declaration of Heaven on Earth. It's a little cute little book. And the introduction says, when a relatively small group of people believe and resonate in a certain way, they have the power to transform the collective. It happened in the creation of the United States. It happened during civil rights movements. And it happens now as you join us as we create the kingdom of heaven on earth for all of God's people. And then I'll just, these 2 pages. This document contains the beliefs, concepts, ideals, and divine truths that will transform all civilizations on planet Earth. We can believe anything and have it come true. And as we believe in these concepts, we create a life in a world that is filled with love, light, beauty, glory, health, wealth, wisdom, and freedom for ourselves as individuals and for the entire planet Earth. So that's how the book starts, and then it actually goes into a declaration.
Goosebumps. I always get goosebumps whenever I read in the book, or when you read something. I always get goosebumps. So that there must be some really high vibes.
Yeah, the vibes.
The vibes.
So that's why I'm excited for you all to read this book, because this, in a simple 5-minute read, can let you and just look at your life. What will my life be like when it's filled with love, health, wealth, wisdom, and freedom? I'm saying this accurately. What will it be like when this happens, which it happens now? And when you claim it, proclaim it, decree it, just like affirmations. A lot of people use affirmations. I use them a lot because that's my voice with power and strength, keeping my mind on track and eventually creating an autopilot theme of something beautiful like heaven on earth. But the actual declaration in here says, we, the people of planet Earth, with all the sovereign power. And it's like, boom, we are declaring this, we are decreeing this, we are making this our reality for our life and for the planet, because any form of manipulation, drama, chaos, it's been happening my whole life. I didn't know it till a year and a half ago. I just thought I was going to be a comedy actor, and then I see with my divine eyes. That's what happened in Sedona. I see with my divine eyes. So the negative story on the news can't trick me anymore, because it's like a TV show that it's like if you watch 10,000 episodes of some drama and then you watched another one, but it's like it's not gonna scare me anymore. You're not gonna trick me into being afraid. Your
Yeah, it's like
theme of
you wake up
separation,
to it,
I've seen it.
and you
So
can see that it's whatever you believe and whatever somebody else makes you believe. So
yeah. So I'm
yeah.
not gonna get caught up in that story ever again. I'm gonna believe in something beautiful, and I'm gonna help others believe in something beautiful. And guess what? Then we're all hanging out in the beautiful land.
Yes. Yeah.
So
We're all
good.
creating heaven on earth here.
All created heaven
So
on earth.
guys, get Daniel's books here. Click on the link again. We're showing it again on the screen, or find the link down in the comments below. The books are for free, guys. You get to download them for free. This is our giveaway for today. So thank you, Dan. Thanks for being our life coach here. Thanks for answering our questions. And we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yeah, I love you all. Stay glorious, stay beautiful, and be that bright, smiley, shining, happy face in the world around you. Because when you smile at other people, you are brightening their day. Because the only time you really see your smile is when you look in a mirror. You can be the smile that other people see every day when you walk by. So just lead with that energy, and God bless you. I love you very much.
I love that. Thanks, Dan. We love you too, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, Dan.
Bye.